Hey, whoa. Hey, how's it going? I got a little bit of a rattle going on. Oh, crap. I'm going to knock that over. Go over there. Pardon me. I have some cards, and I want to kind of go as quickly as I can. So I didn't write anything down. That may or may not be a relief to you. Excuse me for 1 second here. So before I get started, please look at my signs. I really don't want to move the phone, but I will, because it's, as usual, sitting on something that is not meant to hold a phone while you're trying to record with it. That looks blurry to me, but could just be my eyesight. You can magnify or not as necessary. So, to start off with, wow, was it heavy or what today? Just all together. And yet, I don't know, for me, kind of like not. The first part of the day, was very sedate for me, and because it was been raining off and on all day, I, did not go outside because it was raining to meditate, which, anyway, that doesn't matter. I didn't go outside, but I was sitting inside the doorway to outside, so, as good as, but I had a roof over me and that, so I was able to sit there for a while, and the birds, I'm sure this happens everywhere else, but in the morning and in the evening on any given day, they're always going to be singing at that time. But usually, it lets up at some point, and then it's just sort of like sparse during the day. But when it rains, that's different. They're more active and they're flying around, at least from where I sit. I guess like sort of showering in the leaves and the bushes ahead of me where I'm looking. Because they sure like to dart through there, and they're just singing up a storm, and they seem so happy, and it's like just the thing sometimes to just sit there and just like turn off your brain to everything except that, and like maybe the colors and the wind, and just and also like shut off the phone and leave it in the other room in a drawer or something, because I do have, and I'm sure this is something that I share with other people, pretty Pavlovian type response to the sound of it, which actually I turned off the sound on my Android because it's really loud compared to my iPhone, and I was getting a lot of junk mail, so it's been nice not having to hear that all the time, and like I feel like I'm kind of breaking myself of being as leashed to it as I was. I'm sorry, now my eyes are bothering me. So anyway, as I sat there this morning just listening to the birds, and I was just so happy that it just kept going and going and going, like I was able to sit there for like 2 hours, and by the time I sat down, it was normally a time where it would have been ending at about that time, like they would have finished their morning deal and flown off to do whatever they do, but they were just hanging around like everybody was there. It was cool. It was just like, I mean, a lot of birds. And the storms were like off and on, and just, I could watch the clouds go by. I'm sorry, I really enjoyed myself. But so as I sat there, I realized, like, Something I like to do in the morning, because I read somewhere that it's just a good thing for you to do, is I massage my hands, because it's supposed to sort of prevent like a lot of health, like a lot of ailments from being, like, deflect them, like prevent you from getting them. So, and that's easy, and I guess it's kind of relaxing or whatever, but you know, it's just part of the hand yoga stuff that I do. But it's good to have a little routine, you know, like wash your face and go to the bathroom when you get up and, you know, download water and such. But anyway, so I'm sitting there doing that, like, my hand massage, like, just kind of like what I'm doing right now, you know, like, no, I'm not a professional, I just do whatever, you know, we just kind of move it around. And so, my hand's been really sore lately. Right here has been incredibly sore, and I'm not really sure. There's a number of ways I could have done it to myself here, but they've been here for months and months, like years, and so why all of a sudden this painful spot? And then just in general, my hands are really sore, like in all of the joint areas. It's unusual. And other odd pains that are happening. And I hear a lot from, like, Kalina Malnar. She talks about, you know, our bodies are making a transition because of a lot of things. But what she is talking about is a transition from a carbon-based body to a crystalline body, like, and it starts at the cellular level. So you can have, you know, what is known as ascension symptoms, which could present like off and on sort of semi-persistent illness looking stuff, but you go to the doctor and they're like, yeah, well, I can't find anything wrong with you, but whatever you say. And it's good to know that there's something like that it could be, other than what it feels like, it looks like to you as a non-physician. Because, you know, you go in there and the doctor's is like, no, there's nothing, you hypochondriac, but you still feel the stuff, you know. And so it could be that. If you're not really, like, up to date on what ascension symptoms are, you can just search those two words and get a lot of information to get you on the way to the answer. And so, and then the other thing about, like, your body, like, that's not just people that are, like, into the woo-woo. It's happening to everybody and everything. There is the shift thing they talk about. It's more than just, like, whatever people are thinking about, like, it's happening to me or it's happening to, like, other people. Like, everything. The objects you think have nothing going on, everything is going through the shift. So if stuff is happening on a cellular level, I mean, they tell you, like, give your pets a break because they're kind of going through what you're going through in some kind of way. And basically the thing right now is suggested to is try to stay as, like, upbeat, positive, and high vibration as you can. And that extends to, you know, obviously, if you are aware of the fact that, like, this is going on with you, then you know it's probably going on with other people. And then you got to kind of have a sort of, like, empathy, which is what I wanted to talk about in the first place, but I'm leaning in there. So, but yeah, just knowing that however you're feeling, somebody else is likely feeling to some degree the same way. And you can like cut them some slack for that, you know. And then as far as the animals concerned, like what we do know about animals, or what we think we know, is they feel pain differently. They express it differently. It may look like they're not saying anything when they're really, really suffering. So you kind of have to be aware of that and pay attention. But there are a lot of people, like, for a whole lot of reasons that, again, I am not going to go into right now, that they just are not doing the shift, or not actively taking an actively aware part in it, and just like going on as whatever. And I don't know about any kind of interface when you try to talk to somebody about it that is in that particular state of mind. You might just run into like a complete dissonance, like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, get away from me. Like, I don't know, because I have been lucky, I guess, that if, I don't know, maybe I have enough time to like feel people out before I even start talking like that, because I already know, like, sometimes it doesn't go down the best. So, how am I doing on time here? Okay, not bad. So, the thing I wanted to talk about through the cards, basically, today, or ask the cards, or me and the cards are going to have a conversation about empathy. And I've been thinking a lot about how I'm kind of appalled that such young people are so, like, I'm just not even sure like what to call it. There's definitely an element of hatefulness. I'm not gonna say that they actually like hate people, because I really feel like what they're saying, and what they're saying, that is like, okay, so like all of the people on the social services, haha, you deserve it if everything gets taken away, and you're stupid and ugly too. Like, I don't know if that's been like programmed in, or if it's really how they feel. Like, I don't know, but it's alarming, because it seems like a lot of them, like more than I would have dreamed, like it's statistically possible, are that way. And I hear a lot of people come up with various reasons that they think it's about. And one thing that I would never argue with them about being angry about is the condition of the world that's being left to them, and the people that are still here that are responsible for that. But the thing is, that is not everyone, guys. Not everyone is responsible for the ruin and destruction that you can't have the life that your parents and grandparents have had. Well, hi, also me. I'm like not a boomer, but I'm like Gen X, and I don't own a corporation. I'm not a boss of anything. Like, I'm just as much swept up in this as you guys are, and it's been just, well, I haven't even wanted any of those things. So, I'm not going to say I've been content with less, but I also wasn't striving for, like, all these other things. Like, I wanted more, but that was none of the sort of stereotypical successful ways of going about it appealed to me. So, like, I didn't have any part in it. Like, don't be mad at me. I want the air and the water and the land to be clean. I want stuff to be affordable, like, I want all of the things you want. If I would have a family, I would want a place to put it too. So, I get it. Or you want, like, your own place. You want to grow up. You want to adult, and it's hard. But keep in mind that there was not a whole lot of us that made all of these things happen. Like, most of us are all, like, Like if you're mad at your older neighbor, it's your neighbor. If it was like one of the people causing the problem, they would not be living next door to you. They'd be living like behind gates and things. And come on. So I feel like that's kind of one angle that the anger is that they have, and I get it. But I mean, also have some perspective, people, and a lot of us want to fix and change a lot of things that are wrong. Ow, in those ways. I stubbed my toe. And then I was watching, before I started doing this, the Majority Report, and they were talking about I guess the wealthy people. So of course now I'm blanking out on it, but it was a different situation. Oh, duh! It was the one that made me want to talk about it in the first place, and it was like Elon Musk and how he's like so stunned that the people are venting their spleen on Tesla and dealerships and everything. It's kind of, and he's like, well, Tesla didn't do anything wrong. Tesla's a good company. We helped. That may be true. It's not, I don't think, really about the Tesla. It's more about like they can't get to you. So, and he and the company spokespeople are like, those people have jobs and families. And like, what about all the jobs that Musk is just decimating with his chainsaw? Like, hello, where's the empathy? And so that's the thing. Musk actually said, where's the empathy? And I was like, exactly. Where is it? And it made me think about why he felt like he could be completely terrible to people and basically say that they were stupid and they were deserved what they got because of it, and that it was his to take away, that they take their money that their stupid ass work put away for their social security. Like, he's just this guy that came in that is such a flim flam man. Like, just, it's so much like Trump. It's really kind of unbelievable that it was twice as lousy, so we took it twowsy. Like, they're just alike. And but he says, where's the empathy? But I look at that and I think, okay, so you're like kind of really mean and don't have empathy for other people when it's something that you care about, that you think you deserve and are entitled to. But then when people let you understand that they think you're wrong, and then you're like looking for the empathy, well, it is like really good to forgive, other people. And sometimes when it's hard to forgive other people, you may be able to, after you kind of look inward and see, like, okay, why can't I forgive this person? And then when you figure out what is kind of in the way of you forgiving the other person, you might well come upon something that needs forgiving in yourself that leads to you not being able to forgive. It's like a whole little chain of events, right? So I can like have empathy for why he might be that way, because I have heard a lot about his background, and so has everyone else, because his father's out there saying things that is just got to be damaging to anyone. Like, and that's your kid, and it's in public, and he has said not great things about the father either. But then I think he's also said completely like 180 degree whiplash cartoon sound changes of heart, and said the opposite. And that is what happens in families. Like, that's what that is, you know? But I feel like what happened with him is that there were things that happened to him where he needed to have the empathy of people and the approval of people and the love of people that a child would look up to and expect it from, and also love and expect it to be reciprocal, like a parent, you know, or a sibling, those people close to you. So when you don't get that as a child, I think, and I'm just speculating because I don't know exactly what went on with him, but there's a lot of evidence to support some speculation. Like, he seems to have been kind of what someone in lesser circumstances might call spoiled, even though it sounds like he was always screaming and yelling for more until he got it, which is, I mean, geez, now you have kids. What do you think of that? But anyway, and that often pisses off a parent if that is persistent behavior, you know, and resentments grow. And if people think that there's nothing wrong with what they think and they don't seek help, then relationships just get weird in the home for everyone. So I'm thinking that he was hurt a lot and didn't get empathy enough, or in the way that he felt like he wanted it. And that, I think enough of us are armchair psychologists enough to know that can be a problem if left unattended to, and is just sitting there moldering. So empathy is like, I mean, it's very much like trust, is in as much as you are like maybe wary and hesitant to give it after having done so on numerous occasions and having found that it was not reciprocal in maybe the way you wanted it or at all. And that's where also the forgiveness comes back in, because that just kind of, like, if you could like really get behind the forgiveness factor, you can just really, like, everybody can just let go of it. You know. Okay, so I pulled some cards from the Sacred Soul Messages deck, and the first one is this here. And that kind of, it makes me think of I know it's like the romantic looking thing with the arrow, the Cupid's arrow, but it also makes me think of just unconditional love. And then, you know, just to go along with that way of thinking, since people have such a hard time with it, unconditional love also for these people, like, whatever. There's people that have a really virulent and angry problem with the LGBTQ plus community, and it's kind of insane. It's like, they did not come to your house and kill your dog kind of anger, you know? Or you can decipher that. But also, it's just like, just love. Don't just pick one kind. You have many choices, many interpretations. Wherever you go and whatever you do, be in love. That is kind of what I was saying about the high vibration thing, and also the empathy and the forgiveness. It's kind of all of a piece. Strong feelings, inspired, don't settle for less. Well, I've said this a lot, and it is this theory that I have that we have done the mean and aggressive for centuries and centuries. Maybe it's time to go completely nuts and just try unconditional love and forgiveness and empathy. And I know people hate that. Like, I don't even want to be your friend because you like what I don't like. Yeah, we gotta, like, get through that or around it, or we got to deal with that first before we get to the other thing. But my gosh, can you conceive of it? Because I feel like that's a key to open the first door. You get through that, step over that threshold, and move into a new timeline. And oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if everybody wasn't so angry and just like taking it out on each other? I mean, really, like everything, top to bottom, that's happening on every continent in the world, is just confined to Earth. But what if everything that had everybody all pissed off and divided and just like all of the angry stuff, what if everybody was just, all at once, everybody just agreed to say, you know what, man, forget it. I am so tired of that junk. Like, I want to do something else. I want to do it different. Do you want to do it different? I really want to do it different. And then, like, okay, so we can do it different by not doing what we've been doing. Like, let's stop doing a lot of that stuff that's hurting each other and angering each other. And here's an idea. Stop believing what somebody told you about other people that neither of you know. If you're talking about people that you rarely see and that's why you don't know them, and you just see stuff about them or stuff related to them, and maybe it's not your cup of tea, but I don't know, man. Like, how would you feel if somebody just took a look at you and was just been like, oh no, that's shite, I want nothing to do with it. In fact, they shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't even exist. And all kinds of angry, violent things that flow from that kind of thinking. Like, been there, done that, and man, I know that I'm exhausted, like, and we're like, getting ready to do it all over again. Really? Is that what you really want? I don't. So anyway, here is the next card. Ooh. Let's see what's in this gift card. Look inside yourself. All you want, you already are. Abundance, resources. Okay, well, open the box. Use the key. Use the key to unlock the box. When you get the key that unlocks the box when you start doing the new thing. You get a prize for like changing your ways. So yeah, your wish is granted. Ooh. It says that on the card. Here's the next one. That looks like a I was gonna say party in a bottle. Yeah. Here, look at it a little bit more. The reason why I'm laughing, and because I said party in a bottle, it made me think of when I thought that Christina Aguilera song was Martini in a Bottle. And when I was a kid and I'd go to my dad's house, like in the 70s, you probably heard about the liquor stores in the black neighborhoods. Well, that was what it was like. And you'd go there and they had these drinks called whatever mixed drink in a bottle. So that's, I don't know why, but I heard her singing that song, and I thought, Christina Aguilera, and I thought she was saying Martini in a bottle, and it really pissed me off. I don't know why. I was like, that's inappropriate. I still don't even know why, because it wasn't about her being too young to be singing it, because I was definitely I don't want to say preteen, because I don't think that's just true, but I was definitely a teen drinker. Not an alcoholic, but well, what can I say? I'm a nutball. But anyway, that's why I was laughing. But it does look like one of those poppers that look like a paper champagne bottle, and then you pull the string and like a big old party pops out. That's what that made me think of. So, okay. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Oh, okay, so that's a weird thing, because when I was watching earlier, I think it was the Majority Report, where I can't rightly remember what the empathy factor was that I wanted to remember exactly, but Trump, they were talking about, wait, was it that? Scratch Majority Report, just whatever I was watching, they were talking about how Trump just came right out and said that the election was rigged in his favor. Like, first he said, first I thought we were going to lose, and then I heard that we won, so like the election was rigged in my favor, and we won. And it's like he was sitting at the Resolute desk saying this, and yeah, he just came out and said, but then, lots of things came out and were said before the election where and I was going to say where if you look back, it kind of looks like they knew stuff ahead of time, but I actually thought like in real time, I was like, what do you mean you already know you won? What do you mean nobody needs to vote anymore? What do you mean we got enough numbers? That was before any voting even took place. We got enough numbers? How do you have the numbers before the election happens? That's definitely rigged in your favor. I don't know. I just thought that was such an unexcited utterance. He just said it like, meh, it was rigged. I won in my favor, like I was losing, and then bing, bong, boom, I'm winning. What a gift. You wiener. So anyway, have confidence. Keep the faith. You are supported. Well, it's almost like I'm talking about that guy I was just talking about, except in this instance, forget him. It's all about you or me. We, whatever, it's about us, not him. Because actually, in the face of him and his peoples, you need everything you have. Hold on. Moving on. Lovely bouquet of rose-looking things. Reason is powerless in the face of love. It's true. Romance, communication, listen to your heart. Well, sure. I'm not really thinking in terms of romance, but I'm not ruling it out as far as talking about types of love. Although, maybe there's a kind of romance going on with, like Trump and his people and the left, I don't know, we don't really have anyone. It's kind of like our team lost, so like now we have no one. I really feel like that's kind of how it is. And it's not like there's no one. How am I doing on time? I don't think I want to go into that too far, so never mind. Let me look at that one last time. Well, so communication. You don't get to romance until you can like make your feelings known, make entree into someone's life, by making conversation. If it works, possibly romance, at least maybe friendship. If it doesn't, you're gonna know. That's what you can get through, like learning to communicate. And if you can't do it, it's probably not a good idea to try to be together. Sorted. Listen to your heart. But, just a regular friendship, I think there's some level of flirtation and that goes on with that. Because, have you ever become really great friends with someone that you initially loathed? Like, just they couldn't stand to be in the same, like, continent with the person. And then next thing you know, you're best friends. And your kids are friends. And, relationships are sparky and unpredictable and weird and cyclic, I guess, too. So, okay, here's the next card. The lantern, and it is reminding me of one of those train lantern things, which I think they still have those guys. I think they're signalmen. I'm not going to go into train talk. So the card reads, I know you're tired, but come. This is the way. Renewal. Keep going. Your path is revealed. So this is shining a light when it seems like times are getting pretty dark. And I know it kind of feels like that right now. It's not nothing kind of about it. This is something that I hope enough light is being shown on now while it can still happen. Because now I heard something earlier that's making me think, along with all of the agencies that can inspect, shine a light on, display, whistleblow, regulate, keep safe, like all of the stuff that was good in government happened to be things that both Trump and Musk are kind of running afoul of legally, and they don't want to have the legal problem, so they are eliminating the source of the problem. Sure, guys, but that's people are gonna remember, dipwits. But anyway, so that's being shown to us. The light is shown on these dark places that are right in front of us and are somehow concealed from our eyes. And so I guess it needs like a special light, like a supernatural light to come in and go, yo, I'm signaling you that it's like a red flag. Caution. Danger. And, some of us are older and have been going through this sort of cycle of, God, it's like the most unsatisfying beach trip ever. The tide goes in, the tide goes out, and it's never quite, I don't know, it's just never quite, it's just like kind of almost what it's supposed to be, it's like not even, I don't know, it's like almost doing it, but like just tired. I don't know. But you could be really young too and not have seen like history repeat itself in your lifetime, and also learned about it. And we love to memorialize history, and some of it, if you see like Civil War stuff, and it's like pretty bad like already, and it's sad. And I bring the Civil War up in particular because we seem to be attacking ourselves here in USA. Not a smart idea, because how'd that work out for us the last time? We're still not over it. And none of it was for like the little people. Like the little people like took up for all the big people. Like people went to war to protect the right of the plantation owners to still have their business. And what were they doing for you that was worth all of that? I'm not even talking about slaves, because they had other people working. They weren't getting rich. They weren't becoming also millionaire plantation owners. And that's something that might be coming to light for everybody. It's like not so much a left or right thing, but something that everybody can agree that kind of sucks. So, but you could be young and just be like one of those old soul people where like you just get it, like this is bad, this shouldn't keep happening, we got to put a stop to it. That is the way. Allow the light to shine on that particular way. And so the rest of it says renewal, keep going, your path is revealed. So take your salt bath, get out into nature, do like something fun for yourself. Like I feel a little bit of heaviness because I was loving my new Blue Sky account so much because it was light and happy, and then all of these things started happening, and I feel like I can't like keep quiet and stand aside. I was already feeling that way before it began to directly affect me, and now it's like I really like I have to I have to like now or never, I gotta try. I can't just like go down without even trying. So my site is less fun than it started out. I try to still have some fun in there. I definitely still keep my animals and my nature in there, but I know that it's very dissonant to have some needling meme about Musk that's definitely meant to like pick on him. But hey, he, should not have come and started messing with me. Like personally, even before the social security stuff, this dude and his brother already had singled me out on Twitter, and they weren't like mean. It was just weird, and it was, I was already, as soon as I found another place to go, I went, and, but I was there until the day before the last election, and, like the brother reached out to me, and it was weird, and I kind of was like, yeah, and just kind of, he went away, and I was like, okay, good, and then I thought I was okay, but then I just was like, it's time to go, because I found another place to go, and I liked it, and it's better. I still like it. I love it, actually, and it is better. But that, yeah, Musk followed me there, Elon, and to this guy, and I actually followed me, and I said what I had not been saying on X, Twitter X, whatever, and well, it's not the worst stuff that's been said about him, but it wasn't like I was mad, like, dude, you're weird, leave me alone, and you're screwing up like everything. Who are you? And then you learn things like he came here and was an illegal immigrant for like a really long time and overstayed his visa and did all the stuff that he's railing against brown people for doing now. And I don't know. It's just like, you make everybody tired. And see, why do you act that way to people why do you have no empathy? Like, you think you can just say and do stuff to people, and they're not supposed to have a feeling about it, and yet, you can say whatever you want, but when someone says something to you, it's like, oh my God, that's against the law. It's like, really? All right, I just have some Gemstone Whisper cards, and once again, they're easy to just read. Like, I don't really have to add that much. But first one is Petrified Wood, and the subtitle on here is Lost. And this makes me think of like Trump and his obsession with making America great again, like some kind of past world, and instead of like, he's just kind of like and not just him, like a bunch of like older people or like trad wannabes, I guess, want to have these old petrified ideas, and it's just like time is marching on, and this is decaying or like stuck forever in this state, and it's like, no, you're out of time, you're out of touch, stuck in the past, petrified, you're lost. And it reads, it's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. Well, that's kind of, I've been saying that's happening. Like, we can all see it, but with losing the rights and institutions and such like. Yeah, get it together or before it falls apart. Because that is like what is happening. Get it together before it falls apart used to be a health club tagline in LA when I was a kid. But it works here because the institutions and all of that you were used to, all of the stuff that we thought was always going to be the way things are, clearly right now, that is not happening anymore. Like, the struggle for that is ending, and the past becoming the current, the present is losing. Excuse me. Oh, that's the last one. So the next one I pulled was Rudraksha, and it's these beads that you always see Buddhists wearing, and sometimes I meant like monks with the robes, but also like secular Buddhists you will see wearing these as well. I did not know that was the name of it. I'm gonna have to look it up because I thought it was some kind of plant thing. And the card reads Zen. Walk as if you're kissing the earth with your feet. I feel like that's a very grounding message. But it is a good message for the day because, like I said, the energy was all messed up today, and I definitely have been feeling fragmented, and sort of like gravity is not really acting how it's supposed to act either. Like, stuff is so off kilter that just normal stuff that really should work the way it always should, like gravity, that's not like mega, that's something else. The whole other order of something. Deep breath. Not like that. But breathe better, woman. Yes, okay, so here's the next card. Hope Diamond, which I don't know if you know this, but that's rumored to be cursed. And I think it's because it was, I think it was part of a Buddhist statue, I believe, and then some colonizers came and took it off of the savage pagan statue, and every owner after that, except for like museums, I think, has had like really bad, horrible luck to them and their family, like death and ruin, and like the subtitle, now that you have the backstory, it is wrath. Look it up, it's true. Allegedly true. And it reads, the best fighter is never angry. So I want to focus on two things here, and I guess I should go with what's front of mind, and it is that the not angry fighter part. Here's the thing, the stone was stolen, and it is wrath. Like it unleashes curses, right? But it doesn't seem to really be doing anything. It looks inert. It is just like beautiful and captivating, and it almost seems like it wants you to want it so it can, pardon my French, fuck you up for taking it out of where it, by all rights, I guess, should be like, whoo, don't mess with this thing. But the hope diamond part, it's kind of amusing, but also kind of apt. It's kind of like, I hope that kind of wrath is not incurred against me ever. Like, I really want to have empathy and be forgiving of things so that I am Zen and I am kissing the earth with my feet and grounded in reality and love. The thing that we neglect to use for good instead of evil. Sorry, I could have left off the evil part, but we neglect to use it for good because there's more to it than the kind of silly, superficial things that we typically assign it to. It's so much more than just a couple of three things, you know? And in keeping with that, the next stone is the Black Prince's Ruby. And you can see, man, it just looks blurry as heck to me. As you can see, the subtitle is Lust. Kind of what we were just talking about in a way. Like, I want it, I got to have it, and it just gets you in trouble. Just like lust. Isn't that interesting? In many ways. It could be psychological problems, or it could be like out in the world interacting with other people, physical and emotional and mental problems. Like, woo, lust, you gotta really, like, where's that card? Is that today? I might be thinking of another one. I thought there was a moderation card. Nope. Guess that was yesterday. Sorry. Bleed through. Come on, I'm being all OCD, but they gotta be straight. The heck? Oh. Okay, so anyway. Lost the thread there. The card reads, each of us is born with a box of matches inside us, but we can't strike them all by ourselves. Boy, that's almost like an admonition of, like, clapping with one hand, trying to partner with yourself, and living on lust. But I think for any partnership, particularly one involving love, it needs to be about more than just scratching an itch or getting what you want. There's another person involved that you have to consider, that you have to have empathy for, and possibly at times forgiveness. But in the way that I was just talking, it sounds like one individual in the equation would need forgiveness more than the other. Like, they might have a tendency to wander and forget about boundaries and such. So here's the last card. It's a garnet, which happens to be my absolute all-time favorite gemstone. I just love that color. And the subtitle is Justice. Mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice. Again, with the empathy and the forgiveness, I feel like there's a theme here. I feel like maybe try and adopt it as a tool when interacting with one another in situations than the other ones that we have previously been using that have worked to somewhat of a degree. I don't know. Listen, it's just been like a hectic feeling day. I know I'm not the only one that feels it, because when I did stop looking at, like, stuff that had nothing to do with anything, no politics, no predictions, like, no anything, I just wanted, like, a cartoon, like, something dumb, you know, that I could just, like, turn off my brain and pay attention to that, and, like, nothing else could get in for a while. I feel like when I came back and started looking at stuff, I was like, oh my, yep, it's not just me. So, moderation came in, so I'm thinking it's like the Temperance card in the tarot, which is like, well, temperance, if you know what the word means, but it's sort of like cooling down gradually something that's too hot, so things can be dealt with, so you can deal with the overheated thing. And moderation, I think the reason why I'm getting it is because our feelings get too fired up, and we get beyond our capacity for envy not envy. We have no problem. Unfortunately, no problem is not the problem with envy that we have. I think we have an overabundance of envy. Empathy was the word I was trying to say. And that is what I think is called for. And we may need to, like, work with it for a while and get used to it, because, again, it is not what we typically do to solve and mediate problems, is to employ empathy or forgiveness. Like, we gotta, like, go to whatever kind of what do you call the schools where you go and learn a trade? I feel like we should have one of those for these things, like empathy and forgiveness, and how to work them into our lives positively, and on and on and on, you know, with all of the good stuff ever accelerating and getting better and better and gooder and gooder. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I said enough. Thank you and good night. Wait, how long? Ooh, I gotta go. Bye.